Hi, welcome back to my channel. If it sounds a little loud in here, it's because I am cooking, but today I'm going to be talking about moving to a new city, moving across the country, moving to Denver, Colorado. I also have some other news at the end of this video that I'll talk about because I am moving again. So I'm going to be kind of simultaneously talking slash cooking. But basically, I've gotten a lot of questions like, moving across the country, how do you make friends? How do you find a place to live? How do you find a job? All sorts of things like that. And I'm going to be covering that all in this video. To start with the obvious one, first you gotta pick the city that you're gonna live in and find somewhere to live. So I had only been to Denver, Colorado one time before I moved here, and it was just a drive through during a road trip, so I really did not know much about Denver. So the way that we did it, which is kind of funny, and also like me and my roommate are both single, so we can do this. I'm not really sure how it would work if you're in a relationship, whatever. But we downloaded Hinge, and we set our location, because you can change your location on Hinge. We set our location to Denver, and then we just started matching with guys and asking them where good places in the city to live is, because every city has a bunch of different neighborhoods that have different vibes, different price ranges, and all of that stuff. So we got a couple guys just to kind of tell us a little bit about the different areas so we could start looking for apartments. I don't want it to burn. But anyway, this is my first time making couscous. I don't even know what it tastes like, so hopefully it's good. But okay. But how we found the actual apartments is I went onto an app on my phone. It's called Apartment List. It looks like that, it's like purple. And it's basically Tinder for apartments. You put in your preferences, your price range, the amenities that you want, how many bedrooms, all of that fun stuff. Like if you want indoor parking, if you have a dog with you, stuff like that. And then it brings up all of the apartments in that area, in that city, and it does this for a lot of cities. So if you're moving to a major city, you should try this out. But basically, we just used that. We put in our price range, what areas like people recommended, and then we flew down here with our moms, and we toured like 10 apartments in one day. Honestly, wouldn't recommend doing that many because they kind of all blurred together eventually, and once we found the one that we wanted to move into, which was funny, not even on our list of ones that we were touring, we just were supposed to tour the one across the street. We pulled up and it did not look anything like the pictures, so we were like, nope, that one across the street looks really nice, so we just walked in. It really helps if you can go to the city, obviously, to tour apartments before you move there, but if you can't, this Apartment List app is really good, and it's how we found the majority of the apartments that we toured. And now all of those apartments that we toured, a lot of our friends live in, so I know it's a pretty accurate app, and it's what worked for me. I just tried that and it's so good. Okay, number 2, making friends in a new city. If you are moving to Denver, Colorado, or I would say any major city, but I'm not going to speak for other cities. Denver, Colorado is basically, we like to say it's like study abroad for adults. People are here for a good time, not a long time, meaning everyone here is not from here. I have one friend, I've been here for a year. I have one friend who actually grew up here. The rest of my friends have moved from different places across the United States. It's a very hodgepodge mix of people, which slightly makes it easy-ish. I said easy on a TikTok video and everyone was like roasting me, but if you are gonna put yourself out there and you are gonna go out in public and you are looking to meet friends, people are very friendly. If you stay in your house and you don't do anything, you're not gonna make any friends, but that just goes for anyone in any situation. But you have to be social and you have to be like, still put yourself out there. I've had one of my best friends slid into my DMs. I slid into another girl's DMs. We're all friends now. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. But I will say in Denver, because nobody is from here and when people are new, it's very easy to make friends. Like one of my best friend's cousins made this TikTok girls club. It's literally called Denver's Girls Club. And a bunch of random girls who just moved here all get together and do things. So there's a lot of different things like that. I know a couple other ones. I think there's Mountain Kids, which is girls and guys, and they do like outdoor activities. There's a lot of different like groups of new people that all meet. So it's in that way, in that sense, it's easy to make friends, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there. But that just kind of goes for any situation, I feel like. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you're gonna stay in your house and not do anything, you're probably not gonna make any friends. Anyway, So how we kind of made friends is either I slid into people's DMs and was just like, you seem cool, can we hang out? Or we'd meet people out at bars, we'd meet people through mutual friends, because a lot of my friends actually moved here, or not friends, but like acquaintances, and then I would meet people through them and then become friends with them. So it's people that I wasn't friends with before, but I met them through acquaintances. So as long as you are willing to put yourself out there, I really wouldn't be worried about making friends, but you have to be intentional about it. I'm gonna talk a little bit, this is specifically for Denver, but every city has neighborhoods within the city, so you kind of have to know the vibe you're going for, the places you want to look. There's gonna be places that are more expensive, less expensive, things like that. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about specifically for Denver, the neighborhoods. There's a couple different neighborhoods that a lot of people live in. The Rhino area, Lower Highlands, which is the Lower Highlands, it's in the Highlands. Downtown, which Lodo is more popular than living actually downtown. I feel like downtown is like the businesses, but Lodo has actual apartments. Lodo to me kind of screams like you work in finance and you live in a high rise. Like it's a lot of high rises, but there are also a couple grocery stores in Lodo. So if you don't have a car and you need to be able to be walking distance to a lot of things, it's right next to Union Station, and there's a Whole Foods and a King Soopers right in Lodo. So that's a good area to live in if you don't have a car. Lohi is across the freeway, like across 25. And there's a bunch of, there are some apartments, but it's less apartments and more houses, townhouses, things like that. And there's a couple like really popular restaurants over there, like Happy Camper, Avanti, My Neighbor Felix, Postino's. There's like a bunch of like nice restaurants over there. Rhino is the River North Art District, so it's a bunch of like big apartment buildings and little bars. It goes Larimer Street, goes Larimer, whatever, goes right through it, and that's where like the big row of bars are. Walking distance to downtown, to Coors Field. There's the ballpark area, which is right in front of Coors Field. Also, that's Larimer, I can't even pronounce it, goes from Rhino into the ballpark district, so that's where all of the major bars are up on that strip. If you go out a little bit more, there's Cap Hill, which is where the Capitol is, and there's a bunch of apartments around there. One of my friends lives in a condo. I have two groups of friends that live in condo buildings over there, so I don't know personally what like rent's like over there or anything, but it is right next to the Capitol. There's Wash Park area, which is a little bit south, I think it's south. Yeah, south of like downtown Denver. I don't know what the living situation is around there, but Wash Park is a super fun place to hang out. Also, Confluence and Commons Park is a super fun place to hang out, and those parks are in between Lodo and Lohi. So if you like to like be able to get out and walk, those are like nice parks to live next to. There's City Park area, a new area that I guess it used to be Cap Hill, but now they call it Uptown, which I guess if you say that, people will be like, you are new here, which people were saying that to me based on the things I was telling them. But also, I'm friends with a lot of people who just recently moved here, and these are the places where my friends live. So if you're recently moving here, you're probably gonna move into these areas as well. So yes, maybe I'm new here, but I'm giving advice to people who are thinking about moving to Denver, so I don't really care. City Park is a huge park. That's where the zoo is. There's, one of my friends used to live over there. It's kind of, I think it's like medium-sized apartment buildings. But yeah, I mean, when I first moved here, when I was telling you that I went on Hinge and people were recommending places, they were recommending Lodo, Rhino, Ballpark, and Lohi. So those are the kind of areas that I recommend too. I've lived here for a year, and I don't really know people who live outside of those areas, so maybe that's just because that's where I spend the most of my time because I live around here. I'm not really sure. But yeah, those are kind of the areas of Denver. Again, every big city is gonna have neighborhoods like that. So you just kind of have to find the feel of the neighborhood, like just the area, what rents is gonna be like. Like Lodo is gonna be more expensive. If you go over to Lohi and you find a house and you split it with a bunch of people, it's probably gonna be cheaper than it would be to live in a high-rise one-bedroom apartment. You know? So you just kind of got to feel it out. That's just why it's really helpful to actually visit the city before you come here. Obviously, we visited one time for one weekend, and we did not fully understand the areas. We did not get the correct vibes of the areas at all. I kind of laugh at it now that I look back at that, thinking of what we were thinking at that time versus what I know now. But I know one of my friends who's thinking about moving to Austin, Texas. She's thinking about just going to go get an Airbnb for a month and kind of feel out the area so she can do that before she moves there. So that's another option. Moving to a new city without a job, how about that? So when my roommate and I first moved here, neither one of us had a job. I had recently lost my job and decided to become an entrepreneur and try to start a business, and she needed to find a job in the new city that we were in. So what we did was we just came down here. I started working and she started applying for jobs. I believe it took her, we moved in April and she ended up starting in July. So just be aware that if you don't come here with a job and you are looking to get like a job where you need a degree, like an office job, it might take a few weeks, few months to get a job. So make sure you're prepared financially for that, because you might not get a job right away, and that's something that like you should be planning for, I think. And my next little piece of news after you decided to move, it is just to have fun. Put yourself out there. Moving to a new city is a huge deal. It's also just the fact that you're thinking about moving to a new city out of wherever you're at right now, either another city that you moved to. I'm getting a FaceTime call. Okay, we're back. She just called me because she's going on a date in a little bit, and she has this giant ass bug bite and she was gonna literally cancel because of it. Anyway, so my big news that I was going to share at the end is that Alexa and I are moving again. And this time we are moving out of the country. So we're gonna have to apply for visas and get new jobs, hopefully that sponsor visas and all of that good stuff. So if you have any questions about the process of that or would like to see it as we do it, so I'm not just speaking on things I have done, but I can speak on it while I'm going through the process, please let me know, leave a comment. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm going to be signing off for this video because my food is done and I am ready to eat. But if you have any other questions about moving to a new city, moving out of the country, anything you can think of, feel free to leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.